2016 at 7:30 on the dot. This is meeting number 2016-17. Please take the roll.
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Here.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Here.
Trustee Desmond?
Here.
Trustee Carberry?
Here.
And Trustee Vorder?
Here.
We
Thanks.
have a quorum.
Would everyone rise for the pledge, please?
Got
I
it.
pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 tonight is public comments, and I'm informed we have no public comments this evening. Item 4 is conflict of interest disclosure. Is there anyone on the board who has a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, I'm going to move on to item 5. The St. Linus Third Annual Turkey Trot Walk Run on Saturday, November 12th, 2016. May I have a motion on number 5?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Properly moved by Trustee Stalker.
Second.
I'm going to give that to Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Anyone here from St. Linus?
Just so happens I am, and I hope you all come out to the Gobble Gobble Runner Waddle St. Linus Walkathon. Great event.
Thank you very much. Item 6 is a request.
I have to take the
Oh,
roll.
let's vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 6 is a request to approve the Johnson Phelps Auxiliary Post number 5220 Craft and Vendor Fair. This is Sunday, October 23rd, 2016, and this also is for the use of canopies in the parking lot if needed. May I have a motion on 6, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Properly moved by Trustee Vorderer.
Second.
Seconded, was that Trustee Strite? Okay, any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
7 tonight is approval of meeting minutes for the closed meeting minutes, 2016-07, dated July 12th, 2016. May I have a motion on 7, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Properly moved by Trustee Vorderer.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion here? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes.
8 tonight is approval of the meeting minutes for the closed meeting minutes, 2016-08, dated August 9th, 2016. May I have a motion on item 8, please?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
Properly moved by Trustee Vorder, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
And Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. This brings us to item 9, approval of meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes, 2016-16, dated September 13th, 2016. May I have a motion on 9, please?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Thank you. Properly moved by Trustee Vorder.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Abstain.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Motion passes 401.
10 tonight is new business by village trustees. Let's start.
501, I'm sorry.
Oops. Yes, okay. New business by village trustees. We're going to start in District 6. Trustee Carberry.
Thank you, Mayor. No new business.
Thank you. District.
Yeah, I just want to mention that the third annual 5K Turkey Trot Walk or Run, Saturday, November 12th, starts at 9 a.m., $30 registration. It's a benefit for St. Linus School, anybody who can attend. I really appreciate it. It's a fun time. That's it.
Okay, District 4.
Yes, Mayor, I do have a couple of things. First off, I would like to announce I'm going to be holding a community meeting. It'll be be Thursday, October 13th, 7 p.m. at Salem United Community Church, 9717 South Costner. And I will have representatives from the police department there and a representative from the business community. We will discuss issues important to the 4th District. Also, as a result of recent robberies in the 4th District, it leads me to have to discuss crime. Incidents show up on social media, which creates confusion, and a web page operated out of the Third District Trustee's office promotes a narrative that crime is rampant in Oak Lawn. On the screen behind me are the crime reports compiled by our professional police department and reported to the state and national authorities who compile the data for all communities in the United States. This is the latest report that is currently in the database. Please notice that these figures show crime from 2010 to 2015, as this year, 2016, is not complete. The screen shows the reports for years that are completed. This slide has been shown at a past board meeting. The Third District Trustees webpage takes liberties with the facts. For what purpose is anyone's guess, but I expect it's for political effect. While these crime reports show a small variance between years' crime and the major crime categories, there is no significant increase in crime over the past 5 years. And if you look at that screen, it breaks down the crimes, the major crimes that are reported to the FBI. We have murder, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, property crime, theft, and motor vehicle theft, arson. But if you look at the first slide there, which reports violent crime, I guess that's pretty much the statistic we're all most concerned about as residents in Oak Lawn. You will see that in 2015, there were 70 such incidents. There were 90 in 2014, 81 in 13, 82 in 12, and then 2011, 64, and 2010, 89. Now, there variances over a community of our size will occur from years to years. One individual, one criminal who acts in a manner could lead to a lot of incidents and reports. And until the police arrest him or he moves on, you're going to see these kind of variances. But nothing in this indicates a large increase in crime over the past 5 years. Again, 2016 isn't there. Now, I'm going to be discussing more about crime at my community meeting, and I will have assistance from the police department to do that, and we'll take questions at that time on details here. Now, at my last board meeting, I reported that myself, the mayor, the village manager, and other representatives of the village met with the president of Chuck E. Cheese on issues that we felt were important for a safe community and a safe business environment. The president of Chuck E. Cheese flew in to Oak Lawn on a Saturday morning meeting, 10 a.m. He brought his representatives with him when we had a 2-hour meeting and discussion. It was agreed that Chuck E. Cheese, at their expense, would hire one of the best security companies in the United States to do an additional report on ways we can secure that business and make it a safe environment for the families that use that. I use that on occasions myself. It's a clean environment. Many, many people are there. They're having fun with their family. But despite the work that I've done as the 4th District trustee with this issue, these incidents continue. Now, at that meeting with the president, it was agreed that by this meeting, I would get a recommendation from their security firm on ways in which additional security measures can occur in that store. And about 3 o'clock today, I got a rather lengthy report. I have not had time to totally digest this and see what the recommendations are and have discussions with my fellow trustees, the chief of police, on these recommendations. I will be doing that in next week, and I will provide copies for all the trustees for your input on this issue. Chuck E. Cheese was to be at our first board meeting in October, which is October 11th, to make a presentation to our community and to this board on ways they recommend to provide additional security in their business before any action's taken. They've asked me, and they asked the board and the mayor if they could have an additional 2 weeks, as the 11th is a major religious holiday within a certain religion. And I have no problems with that, Mayor. If we can reschedule them for the October 25th meeting,
I
I'd
think that's
appreciate it.
reasonable, Terry, thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, very good, thank you. District 3, Trustee Straight.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a question for Trustee Warder. Was the 2015 numbers that you posted up on the screen, were those FBI uniform crime statistics?
These reports are from the chief of police.
Okay.
A very professional organization, and these are the reports, these are the crime reports he submits to the database, the state and the federal agencies that track crime. I have great confidence in our police department. I have great confidence with the chief, and I do believe these are accurate reports based on that.
Thank you, Trustee. Well, I think just right after the last meeting where you talked about the problems with Chuck E. Cheese, right about that time, we also had 2 armed robberies in your district.
That's correct.
And, very serious, violent crimes happened in the middle of the day. Anybody in custody yet?
Not that I know of. I know that there was the offender, that we believe, committed an additional similar type crime in Mount Greenwood, and it's believed that he might possibly have had a collision with a car in Beverly. The police department, the chief has told me they are investigating it. They have some possible leads, but nothing concrete at this point.
Okay. We all, I think, I certainly, saw subsequently to that report, the mayor on Channel 5 yesterday, and suggesting that it might be time to address the business license of Chuck E. Cheese. And while you're talking about police reports, and one of the things that I do want to point out is that in reading the newspaper accounts of the 911 calls from Chuck E. Cheese, I just want to point out for the record that when I see that there were over 40 last year, 40 911 calls, and over 40 already this year, I don't have those reports. So now I did, again, the mayor, I saw her on the news, and I have to agree with the mayor on correctly identifying what's at stake at Chuck E. Cheese, namely the safety of the children and their families. I also believe that the management of the restaurant has tried very hard to be a responsible neighbor. But I believe that we've reached the stage, after 4 years of what continues to be a deteriorating situation, where we need to be more proactive about protecting patrons and residents and the reputation of Oak Lawn as a place that offers a safe environment for families to shop and to be entertained. I agree with the mayor regarding her identification of the issue, but I am concerned about the lack of leadership in taking the necessary action to resolve it. 4 years of 911 calls is enough.
Mayor, may I respond to that?
Let him continue,
okay. I
finish
thought-
his report, then we'll
Okay.
have comments.
Well, the only thing that I
Trust
would add to that is that it's time to serve them notice that we are seeking to revoke their business license for cause.
That completes your report?
It does.
Trustee Warder.
If I can just respond to that. After being elected 3 years ago, I was well aware of problems at Chuck E. Cheese. They stem back to the days I was a police officer and chief of patrol. One of my first missions after being elected was to have a meeting with Chuck E. Cheese management. I had the district manager, their chief of security there, and we went over many ideas on how to make that environment safe for the children that are there. And they were a responsible company. They removed all the free apparatus that was in that store. They cleared sight lines, okay, so that people in that store can be viewed throughout the entire place. They lowered their occupancy from 611 to 482. We moved on with a second meeting in which after another incident, we agreed to hire security. Chuck E. Cheese pays 2 off-duty police officers, Oak Lawn police officers, at their expense, and on the weekends, 3 officers in that store. Chemco has agreed to put a police officer at their expense and the rental of a car into that parking lot. So, Bob, I take issue with the fact that we have not been addressing this issue. It's been on my agenda. This is my 4th meeting with Chuck E. Cheese over these issues. And we are moving forward, and we are not turning a blind eye to this issue. This is a responsible company. They have made every attempt to address these issues. And while I agree the ultimate authority of this board is to revoke that license, it only is due process, okay, that we give them every opportunity to address our concerns. And if those concerns are not addressed, then I stand with you and the mayor on discussions on revoking that license.
Thank you.
That's all.
Any other comments, trustee Straight?
The only thing,
Go ahead.
the only thing that I would just add is that, I did say that they've tried, that Chuck E. Cheese's management has tried a number of things, as you pointed out, including providing off-duty Oak Lawn officers, reducing the amount of seating, providing additional security cameras. And the one thing that I would ask you, trustee, is have we seen a noticeable decline in the violent incidents that occur at that establishment?
We have seen a decline in incidents at that establishment. It only takes one incident that quickly gets out of control to lead to a violent confrontation. I can go back to 2000. That business has been there since 1984. And I think that from its earliest days, we've had these kind of incidents. My personal experience is that most of these incidents stem from domestic situations that quickly get out of hand. And usually they're families with large groups, and it's difficult to control. We have made every attempt to give them a fair shot at providing a safe environment and run a successful business in Oak Lawn. But if it's their job, not my job, not this police chief's job, to provide security in that store and make recommendations to them on how to provide a safe environment for their customers, which encompass children. That's my primary concern. Every business in Oak Lawn occasionally gets a response from the police departments, the nature of human beings. We have other businesses that have a number of incidents and police responses in this town. But this is my chief concern because I bring my grandchildren there and I see many children there. We cannot tolerate this. They're going to need to solve this problem or we will take action.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the report that was, that Terry referenced, and the recommendations
Yeah.
in the report.
I have a copy here. I will have one in your mailboxes in the next day or two.
In my quick scan of that, the analysis of the data shows that implementing these things did have a reduction. Trustee Desmond.
Yeah, just one quick question. A couple of years back, there was a shooting, right, outside Chuck E. Cheese's. There was gangbangers having a gunfight.
Yes.
When was that?
I think that was 2012. Yeah.
When you get these reports, can you bring up that report, see what recommendations were made at the board level?
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that they didn't even lose their liquor license over that.
No, and when in 2013, I think the next incidents, or early 2014, one of those, we had discussion about the liquor license, and they responsibly, voluntarily relinquished their liquor license.
Madam Mayor, not only did they voluntarily remove their liquor license under the leadership of Trustee Voider and yourself, they made the rest of those recommendations come true, reducing the amount of people in there, having the extra police officers in there. And I don't think that there's a trustee sitting here that has not heard from somebody in their district stating that the overall and overwhelming concern of residents in the village of Oak Lawn is what we're going to do to address Chuck E. Cheese. And I think that under due process and under the leadership of our village manager, our police chief, our trustee, I believe that we have a solution that's coming forth, and I think we move on.
Yeah, and as I stated in my letter, the next step is really an action of the entire board at this point. As liquor commissioner, I have blown through everything I could do, and it's board action. So I would ask this board to responsibly look at the data that's presented by Trustee Vorderer in this report. If you have specific incidents you'd like more data on, Chief will accommodate us, but it's a serious matter, and it's, yes.
No, I mean, are we leaving ourselves open to any type of, you know, liability lawsuits? I mean, we didn't act when people were shot outside Chuck E. Cheese's. Now, there's been a fight. I guess some guy hit his girlfriend.
It was a brawl, and it
brawl.
involved
I mean, are they going to say,
aggression
you know, you did nothing that time?
as well.
Why, you know, why are you going to act so aggressively?
I don't believe there's any liability for the village, Tim. Trustee
Mayor, if
Trustee
I can
Warder.
point that shooting incident occurred before the majority of this board was seated here. It was this board that began to take action over there.
Correct.
I understand that. I just want to make sure that,
Let's move on to District 2.
All right, well, while we're on supporting our police and making sure that we give them the tools that they need to be successful, I am concerned about something that was brought to my attention recently, that there was a trustee here that's sitting at this village board that had an incident at his house that was being under investigation, and he signed a waiver of release to stop the police from continuing on an investigation. And that just concerns me because we have to continue to supply the police with the support that they need. And I was shocked, and I double-checked, and I found out that that truly did happen. And I would hope that any trustee here that can help the police lead an investigation would do everything within our powers to do that. So we lead by example, not just by words. In Second District, I have a couple of things. There is a benefit it's called the For Mary's Angels benefit, which will take place on Sunday, October 2nd, this Sunday from 1 to 5 at Bourbon Street. The benefit is to raise funds for Declan and Kennedy Habenreiser, who lost her mother Mary to breast cancer after a long fight in February of this year. The children are being cared for by Mary's sister and brother-in-law, Janet and Brian Myers. For more information, you can go to www.formarysangels.com. And this is a family from the neighborhood. Mary was a retired state police officer and a coach at Oaklawn High School, and very involved in the family. It's tough when you see someone go through that and then leave two beautiful kids. So if you can consider supporting it, it'd be great help to the family. And then finally, it's that time of the year that the Cook County Board of Review is accepting appeals for assessments for Worth Township, which includes Oak Lawn. Homeowners can appeal online at www.cookcountyboardofreview.com, or they can visit the Cook County Board of Review office located in the Bridgeview Courthouse building at 102nd and 76th Avenue, room 237. You can ask for Karen Olivio, who will gladly assist in filling out the form. It does not take long to fill out the form, and it will benefit you because they will not raise your taxes or raise your assessment. They will only lower it, and it's something that every resident should do once a year. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. District 1.
thank you, Mayor. Just a quick word, again, on Fallen Green, as I missed the last meeting. I just want to acknowledge all the generous sponsors, all the volunteers, the local Mints Clubs, Park Lawn, our wonderful staff, especially Public Works Department, the Finance Department, and our Special Events Committee, and all the village employees who did such a fantastic job that weekend. You know, great weather, great bands, and great food made for a great weekend. I don't think we've all the figures totaled up, Brian, yet, do we?
Preliminary figures, Mayor, but
Well,
we should do quite
but
well.
it looks like another record weekend.
Highest Sunday ever and the second highest.
Wow. And that's, of course, great news for Park Lawn, who receives the majority of the funds raised for charity.
That's correct.
Okay, and it was great to meet so many people out enjoying themselves, having a great time. You know, I mean, where else can you walk in off the street and enjoy a band like American English or Red Rebel County for free? You know, you walk down the street, you walk in. It has to be one of the greatest festivals in at least in the south side. You know, I worked at information booth for a couple of hours, and it was great to actually talk to people that were. Everybody was out enjoying themselves, just having a great time, commenting on how well the village looked. It was great. So I really enjoyed the Fall in the Green this year. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, excellent, very good. Okay, we are moving on. We are at number 11, Village Managers Report. Larry?
Nothing further, Mayor.
Thank you. 12 tonight is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for street side yard variation to allow for fence along Central Avenue at 5569 West 96th Street. This was a 5-1 vote to approve petition 2016-28. Henry Para is the petitioner in District 3, and then 13 is an ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion, please, on 12 and 13?
Motion to approve.
Okay, I think I'm going to give it to Trustee Vorder first and seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you. Tonight, we discuss an issue that pits public safety against developer money. Can we allow a fence to be put up in a side yard on a corner lot that will inevitably reduce a driver's ability to see oncoming traffic? The proposed fence at 96th and Central could potentially violate IDOT guidelines that clearly stipulate a 355-foot line of sight for traffic traveling 30 miles per hour. Exact measurements of the fence were never given to the Planning and Development Board that did vote 5-1, nor to this board. As a result, we don't even know how far a driver will be able to see and how dangerous the situation might be. The developer has tried to make the case that this fence is imperative to a family's safety. This is an irrelevant talking point, considering that this family does not even exist. The undeniable reason that the developer is pushing for the fence is simple. A fence equals more money for the developer and for the realtor. Making more money has never been a good reason to put public safety at risk, and we should be extremely cautious of the decision at hand. Anyone who votes for this variance is in essence voting for the developer and voting against the residents that we are committed to serve. We cannot idly stand by and willfully jeopardize the safety of our citizens. That is why it is our duty to vote no on this variance. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I got a, yes, please.
Trustee Stalker.
As I look at this request, it is true that building a 5-foot-high fence all the way up to the front of the building might only give 250 feet or a little bit more of vision to the to Central Avenue. But I'd like to recommend that we modify this. I understand that there's a motion on the floor, but I'd like to modify this fence request to set the fence back either 10 feet from the front of the house or to cut off a 10-foot corner on the fence. That'll increase the sight lines when you're actually at Central to about 700 feet. You'll be able to see all the way down to the railroad tracks on that street. I think that would be a big change and make this fence every bit as safe as any other fence in the area. So I don't know how to, I guess I would recommend that we not approve this, but approve a motion that the fence be approved subject to discussions with the village engineer as to how to modify the front 10 feet.
The recommendation from Planning and Development that we're voting on is moving it 10 feet from the front of the house, so.
That's fine, then it's already done.
recommendation. That's the recommendation.
And that brings the sight line back to about 700 feet on Central Avenue.
Not even close, Bud. It's not even 355
Trustee Straight,
feet.
please let him continue, sir.
Sure.
Thank you.
Trustee Stride, I've spent about an hour out there today and 2 other visits to this site. I'll guarantee it. Thank you.
Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
I'm looking in the audience, and please forgive me if I don't recognize you, but there was a young father with 3 young boys in his car today that I had the chance to speak to, a neighbor on the block. And he was unaware of the specifics of the recommendation and what Trustee Stalker just brought up. And when I shared that with him and I walked to the site and I had him stay in his car with the 3 young boys at the intersection, so he could see where he was positioned in the fence, and the fence would go back, he understood that and thought that made sense.
Okay, very good. Any other discussion? Trustee Desmond?
Yeah, one thing just I got to mention, in the 3 years I've been up there, we've heard a lot from Trustee Stride, both on the board and from his Oak Lawn Leaf blog. But never would I ever expect any representative of the people say that family safety is irrelevant. It's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. What about the people inside that fence that are going to be living in that home? You think that their safety is irrelevant? What if those kids are playing a game of football or baseball and that ball runs out onto the street? Their safety is irrelevant? They shouldn't have a fence there to protect them?
Actually, trustee, this issue goes much deeper than the fence.
No, you said family safety is irrelevant.
No, there is no family. It's an empty house. This is being.
There will be a family.
This,
One at a
well,
time, please.
I guess there could be a family, but.
No, there will be.
We're putting developers' profits above the safety of the neighborhood. The house really, the lot never should have been subdivided in the first place. I'll tell you what, if we went back and looked at it, we built this house literally 3 foot. It left the remaining house on the lot.
We're
3
talking about a
foot from
fence. We're talking about a fence.
Yeah, of course you don't want to talk about the rest of the.
Well, we are
That's fine.
discussing the matter at hand,
That's
Trustee
fine.
Straight.
Okay.
Trustee
It's going to
Desmond,
jeopardize
have
safety.
anything more to say before?
I just had, Trustee Stalker and I had an opportunity to talk before the meeting, and I went out and spent time on a Saturday talking to first the village manager about what was up, and then the village engineer. And I actually went out and walked the property, which I had to go down. It was about 2 blocks from my house. It wasn't that difficult to do. And then I went out and took some measurements to see from the building. And then I went out and looked to see if there were any other duplicating fence lines like that. And I'm sure you're not shocked, Bob, but there are 2 other incidences right along that same street. If you go further down by the church that are there, that are pretty much the same type of situation, that are safe, that have been traveled day in, day out for years, that didn't present a safety issue. And I would ask that if you did your homework and spent some time going after the facts, maybe you wouldn't say, as you said in your well-written statement, that there could be. I think if you would have done some homework, you would have found out that with what the recommendations are, there's not going to be. So I understand you don't like where the house is at. I understand the history that's been through it. But we also have to be cognitive of the people that are in this village investing into our properties and into our neighborhood. So I just know that a lot of times, especially when it's so close to your house, some of this discussion could have been changed. I would have loved for you to give me a call and say, hey, will you come down here and take a look at it? And the whole time that I've been a trustee, you have never, in the last 4 years, called me about anything. This would be a good thing to come out and take a look at. Never happened, Bob.
That's because, trustee, unlike you, I prefer to conduct the village of the business at this board table, not behind closed doors.
It's not behind closed doors. It was right on an open street.
Okay, wow. Thank you, gentlemen. Trustee Straight, I'm having a little confusion. When you say safety, what is your main concern?
The main concern is that this fence will clearly not provide enough line of sight for a car to pull out into that intersection safely.
Did you disagree with our village engineer's diagrams that he sent you that shows that it's right in line with what is recommended?
Well, actually, that's not what it shows, okay? And if you do, and in fact, I'll tell you what, I'll challenge you. I contacted an engineer. I was willing to pay the engineering firm out of my pocket. They wanted $400 to $500 to do an analysis. I was
Well, I'm
willing to
just-
do
I'm
that.
just
Because
referring
I
to-
asked our village engineer to do it, and he didn't want to. I get that.
Who's the engineer that you were gonna pay?
It was a firm, I think it was called EDM.
EDM, do you have their phone number? Because I'd like to call them.
I absolutely
So,
do.
okay, let's stick to the
you
matter
can
at
actually,
hand.
Thank you.
Trustee Straight, this diagram shows kind of what Trustee Stalker was saying. And this is
Call the
done
vote,
by our
please.
engineer. Well,
Call the
I have a
vote.
concern. I went to the, the meeting where I heard residents talk about the safety of that corner. And have you reviewed the police reports from that corner?
I have. And
And-
3 of the 6 residents that testified at that meeting all personally had accidents or had family members that had accidents at that intersection. And that's without the fence.
So of the accidents there, how many were due to a restriction in
I
sightline?
don't know that.
I do. I reviewed 21 accident reports on that corner.
Wow.
And,
21 on that.
21, and they are,
And you're not concerned about it.
well, let me talk about it. They relate to the area just west of there, sir. And the people coming from the west going east and not from the east going west. There's only one that possibly is related. So I'm going to call that vote.
Can I have just one question? For the
Sure.
record, who did you talk to at EDM Engineering? I pulled them up on the, I'd like to talk to them.
All right, I'll be happy to share the name of the person I talked to. I think it's Chris Gurr, but I'll be happy to share that information with you.
Okay, let's
no
call it.
tell-
Emails, phone calls, all of it.
Trustee Strike?
Thank you.
No?
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorter?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-1.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, we are moving on. Item 14, Resolution 161744, a resolution approving and authorizing a purchase agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn, Illinois, and Charles Shields Industries, executor of the estate of James M. Dillon, for the purchase of 9939 South 52nd Avenue, Oak Lawn, Illinois, and then we have item 14, so. May I have a
Motion to approve.
Motion to, second.
Okay, I'm going to give it to Trustee Oliniechek as the primary, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion here?
I do want to say a couple of things on it. This was a recommendation from staff that was brought up through the Public Works Committee. This is an area that in any large rains gets flooded. It will be used towards the retention and a project for retention in that neighborhood, which is a start of helping them out. But it still doesn't solve the complete problem. The big project that we're working on that Trustee Stalker, the mayor, Trustee Vorter, and myself were able to spend some time in Springfield talking to our legislators is truly the St. Casimir Cemetery project. So this is just the beginning, but we're hard working together as a team, making sure that we're addressing flood.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Trustee Vorter?
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to say that this is the right thing to do for one of our residents, deceased residents, on a piece of property that for 40 years that I knew of, every time we had a major rain, he had to sit out there and watch the waves that the passing cars push through his living room. The property is virtually unsaleable, and he's lived with it for long. He was a good neighbor. We've worked on a long time in trying to solve the problem. This is a unique situation, and it warrants this village taking action for this one particular piece of property.
Thank you. Trustee Stalker?
Yeah, this house is in my district, and this is probably one of the lowest houses in the whole village of Oak Lawn. As Trustee Vorder said, it flooded every time we had a major rain. It cannot be sold. It is not habitable. We have to do something about it. This is the right thing to do at the right time, and I appreciate this action.
Thank you. I agree. Any other discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strike?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 15 is Resolution 161745, a resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirements, approving a cloud storage agreement with Microsoft. May I have a motion on 15, please?
Motion approved.
Thank you. Properly moved by trustee Stalker,
Second.
seconded by trustee Desmond. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strite.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 16 is a request for approval and direction to the Fire and Police Commission to hire one police officer from the current eligibility list. This is due to the non-duty disability of an officer. May I have a motion, please, on 16?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Properly
Second.
moved by trustee Vorder, seconded by trustee Oliniechek. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Strite.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
And Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. 17, Village Clerk's Report. Jane.
All right. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2016-18D, dated September 27th, 2016, in the amount of $1,912,637.81.
Thank you. May I have a motion on 17A,
Motion
please?
to approve.
Thank you. Properly moved by trustee Carberry,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Let's take that vote.
Trustee Strite.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
One more thing, Mayor.
Certainly.
And for the 2016 November 8th presidential election, the last day to register to vote in the Oak Lawn Clerk's Office is October 11th. And the first day of early voting begins on Monday, October 24th, and runs every day through November 7th, at the Oak Lawn Village Hall. Times do vary, so either check the village's website or call my office at 708-499-7738 for those exact times. And for any other voting information, you can go to David or the Cook County Clerk's website at www.cookcounty.com. Don't hesitate to call. You've got every opportunity in the world to come out and vote, so please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. 18, Village President's Report. 18A is a request to approve the Local Liquor Advisory Board referral to adopt a drink price specials happy hour language. And then we have, do I do the ordinance at the same time, Paul?
Yes, you can.
Okay, we'll do 17A and B together. 17A is the request, and B is the ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion, please, on 18A and B?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Properly moved by trustee Desmond. I'm going to second by trustee Carberry. And just for clarification, we are not easing happy hour in Oak Lawn. We are actually getting our code in line with the state, the changes that were made. So, any discussion?
Well, I guess that clarifies it. It was a little confusing when
Yeah.
going through the package. But we're not really adopting any ordinance
We
independent of the state.
presently, our municipal code allows happy hours without restriction almost. And the state changed their code several years back. And our code was never modified to reflect the state requirements. And one of our local businesses had requested clarification on what they could do, and it was then when all this became apparent. So what we're doing is making our code in line with the state. So things like, drink specials where you can pay for a small drink, get a giant drink, drinking games, those types of things, which presently are permitted technically in our code, even though they're not in the state code. Presently, they are permitted. This would make everything in line with the state code and tighten those guidelines, those requirements. Any other discussion? Let's take that vote.
Trustee Strite.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. 18C is General Village Matters. I just want to talk a little bit about Oak Lawn Auto Days. I want to thank Steve Radis and our local car dealers for supporting this event. It was last week and it was perfect weather. Hawk Ford was there, Mancari, Oak Lawn Toyota, Happy Hyundai, and Ed Napleton Honda. And I really, really enjoyed meeting Dick Biondi. Those of you who enjoyed radio in the early years This gentleman can tell you stories. I heard stories about Elvis. I heard stories about Mick Jagger. What a wonderful event, and I want to thank Mr. Biondi for coming out to Oak Lawn and sharing his exciting stories. So, one other
Do we
kind
need
of bit
to,
of,
do we do the second part of that?
we did A and B together.
Yes.
So we did the request and then the ordinance, or the granting that request.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so, you know, when you think of Oak Lawn, there's a lot of wonderful, exciting development going on, but there's a lot of little eyesores that we've been looking at as a board, as individual trustees, and I, of course, am very concerned about them. Probably the worst in Oak Lawn is right on Southwest Highway, right by your office, Trustee Stride, and you know it, Town of Lake. It's so bad, the village actually fenced it in. The building is in disrepair. It is so bad. It's a very complicated story that got us to this point, but the land is currently owned by a trust, and the beneficiaries of the trust is very, very twisted. I am really, really excited. I want to thank our code enforcement team, management team, and our lawyers, especially at Peterson, Johnson, Murray. We have formally notified them. We are finally at the point where they have 15 days to bring this building into compliance. On October 12th, we will be filing a complaint with Circuit Court to demolish Town of Lake furniture. And I know for the neighbors there and for everyone who is on Southwest Highway, it cannot be soon enough. So thank you, Peterson, Johnson, Murray. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Larry. That's super duper exciting. I expect snags along the way still, but it looks like we're getting close, and I know everyone is going to be excited about that. That concludes my report, so we're going to go on to 19, Executive Session 2016-10 for the purpose of discussing pending litigation, and number 2, approval of the minutes of the closed meeting 2016-09, dated September 13th, 2016. May I have a motion on 19, please? Thank you. Properly moved by Trustee Olenichik and seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Stride?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichik?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
And Trustee Vorder?
Thank you.
Yeses.
So what we're going to do is clear the room.
High
And then
school
we'll-
kids, come on up and get your signatures. You